Hello everyone, and thanks for checking out the video. I'm Mr. 5050, the founder of Flawless Fatherhood. Hey guys, listen, I'm going to tell you something. First and foremost, I am very passionate about fathers' rights. Very passionate. I truly feel that basically I've been a father's rights advocate since I was 29 years old. Now I'm a 47-year-old man, and even though I've always been a father's rights advocate at heart, trying to help those that are close and near to me in life, it was only earlier this year when I decided, hey, I'm tired of just keeping this to the people that's close and near me, that I want to be able to reach out and touch those that I couldn't see, that I couldn't necessarily, they couldn't hear my voice. So I want to reach out and be able to share my wisdom of things I experienced in my life to be able to help fathers, present and future fathers, help them navigate how to not make missteps in their lives. You got to be very calculated to be able to avoid the pitfalls as it pertains to child custody and maintaining an adequate, an equal, not adequate, an equal timeshare in your child's life amidst an unfortunate divorce or breakup, okay? I know, listen, one of the main things people have issues with is saying, oh, well, that can't happen to me. That is one of the most vital mistakes that a person can make, all right? In this position, we're talking about fathers. Because obviously in this country, heck, to be honest with you guys, in this Western society, this Western culture, Canada, other places, that we have this fatherless narrative that's going on, all right? It can be for one of many reasons. It can be for money. It can be to make sure that the youth come up all, miscombobulated. Look, it can be for a lot of different reasons, but I'm going to tell you what, I've seen a lot of things, and I was like, I've seen a path of how fathers mess up, and I want to be able to highlight them and be able to let people know how me. Let me give you a little backstory about me, because I'm not going to keep it. I want to keep this a nice type video. I can elaborate later. But as a 29-year-old that was married for 10 years, got married to my high school sweetheart at 19 years old. We both were 19. I was able to ensure that I was able to be the primary residential parent after a divorce, through a divorce, of our two sons at the time that we shared. I currently have 3 sons, all right? My oldest 2 sons are currently 26 and 21. They were 9 and 3 years old at the time of me and my wife's separation and the divorce, okay? So I was able to secure them. How? Because, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was fortunate, okay? I was unfortunate, but fortunate. And it's important I give you a little backdrop about myself so you can understand where I came from. I'm a product of my father not being in my life for 7 years, right? I was probably from age 8 to maybe close to 14, somewhere up in there. A good 6 to 7 years. I experienced a terrible stepdad situation, me and my younger siblings below me, and more so me and my brother that's directly below me. We had a terrible stepdad situation. And I just remember going through those times and crying and all the things that we went through as far as discipline and punishments unnecessarily. Now, granted, we're young kids, so of course we're young boys, so we deserve some type of punishments, but it was extra, trust me. But this is not a pity party. What happened to me during those times, I embedded in my soul before I even knew what sex was. I told myself that I would never, ever, ever lose position of my children, no matter what happened, okay? So that was already embedded into me, Like I've said before, I had a better chance of falling off the Empire State Building 5 times in a row, okay? It just wasn't going to happen, by hell or high water. So, mind you, when I got up into these situations, my mind was already made up, okay? Now, that don't mean certain mistakes weren't made, okay? But I learned from those and I was able to navigate from them. And I want to be able to help current and future fathers to be able to move forward and be. I am not in the business of changing laws, okay, or begging them to change laws. Listen, I'll let the other fathers' rights advocates do that, all right? Because the laws are like that for a reason. The laws are, that's like, hey, can you change the laws? That's like asking the bully when you go to school, say, please, bully, don't take my lunch money. Please, bully, please don't beat me up. Is the bully going to listen to you? No. He's going to laugh at you. He's going to beat you up. He's going to take your lunch money. He's going to take the delicious pizza, rectangle pizza off your plate. He's going to freaking hold you upside down and shake everything out of your pockets. Begging for the bully to help you isn't going to work. That's why I'll let someone else fight the laws. I'll let the rest of the other fathers' rights advocates fight the laws, because guess what? I didn't need the laws to change to be a father that was able to position himself to be the primary residential parent in 2006, in a divorce in 2006. And my third son, which is currently 10, he was born in 2012, that I was able to secure my position and maintain that I have a 50-50 physical custody, equal custody, physical custody, 50-50 week to week with his mom. Okay? So she has him 1 week, I have him the next. We rotate every 7 days. Alternate on Wednesday evenings. If I can do this, you can too. I'm not special. I've never went to college. I've never studied a law book. But what I did know, I saw the mistakes other people's made, and I had something embedded into me. I had the passion and desire. Did I spend a little bit of money? Yes. Did I save a lot more by getting my kids? Hell yes. All right? So I want to give you my wisdom, and I want you to spread the wisdom. That's something that a lot of men don't do. They don't spread the wisdom. They just hold it. Be like, oh, nobody told me, so I don't care if anybody else go through it. All right? I'm not asking a dime from you. But what I don't want to do is get buried with this knowledge, with this wisdom that I have. Now, this is unconventional wisdom, okay? Nobody teaches this. Nobody's teaching this. And, let me not forget to say, I am not an attorney. I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. Gotta say that stupid crap, okay? I ain't in the business. But what it is, it's legit information, sound, accurate information of how a person navigated a divorce and a situation when I was the non-custodial parent. That's number 2. And how I was able to secure a 50-50 timeshare. My 2 sons was with me, and after my divorce in 2006, I had them the majority of the time, and their mom got them every other weekend. And of course, she paid her portion of child support into the home. Right out of her check. And just like my youngest son, a 50-50. Look, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. All right? So I want to give you this wisdom. I'm sorry I'm a little bit long-winded, but I had to let you know, I had to give you some backdrop of where I'm coming from to let you understand, look, you want to take advice or whatever. What do you value more? A person that got a certificate or a piece of paper that probably doesn't have a child that says, hey, I know how to dunk a basketball. Here's the physics of how to dunk a basketball. Or a person that has dunked the basketball, that's proven it, that has it on freaking record, have video. I have my sons, and damn it, I want to make sure all fathers have their children. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go through over 2 aspects. I'm going to go over married fathers and unwed fathers. Married and unwed. All right? So those are the 2 things we're going to go through. We're going to cover some stuff in between, but understand it's because they're different. When you're married, you got that marriage certificate up under you, so you're bound. You got a third party in your marriage. which is the courts, which is the legal system. Because you think you're just married to your wife, but oh no, she has a tag team partner that whenever things get tough, she can reach over there, like they used to do on WWE, WWF, reach back there when she's stumbling and slap, and you get she gets that fresh wrestler to come in and just go hard on you. When us as men, we don't have anybody to reach to. I just want to throw that analogy out there so you can paint it in your picture and let you understand what it is. A lot of you guys already understand that. All right? So soak in this information. I'm sorry for being long-winded, but listen, this is an important video and you want to take heed to it. Okay, guys, let's just get to the meat and potatoes of it, all right? But first and foremost, again, I'm going to need you guys to have an open mind, okay? An open mind. This is unconventional wisdom. I'm not taking my time here to spew out some nonsense just for s and giggles. No, I'm not in the business of doing that. So I appreciate if you can walk in with an open mind and kind of see, does it make sense? Is it sound? Is it possible? Because the answer to that is yes. All right? The answer to that is yes. All right, so let's get into it. A couple months back on my fairly new YouTube channel, that I would like for you, if you find value in this type of content, feel free to like the video and subscribe and comment, because I would love to go back and forth with you, okay? Listen, I'm an open book. You know how you just say, and when you go to work and you get hired by an employer and say, oh, I'm an open book, I'm an open book. I'm transparent as hell, all right? So I'm in the business of showing exactly what happened to me, how I navigated it, and how you can do it too, and how future fathers can do it as well. All right? Let's get into it. A couple months ago, I made out a video on my YouTube platform that was titled Flawless Fatherhood Blueprint. All right? It was the Flawless Fatherhood Blueprint, and it was the husband's edition. All right? And what I did, I created a five-step basically blueprint that if husbands, fathers that were married would follow, they too, just like I did, could secure their child at least 50-50 in a divorce, but possibly be the primary residential parent for them. Or in some states, it's not called primary residential parent. The terms change. I got divorced in 2006, but your kids being with you the majority of the time. All right. Now, this is not a situation where I'm trying to penalize mothers. No. Okay. No, I'm not. But the statistics show that when fathers lead the household and they're single fathers in the household, that the children grow up to be very sound. Actually, the statistics say that a single father raising the children in the home alone does the same equal as job if both parents are together. And of course, we know single mothers are not even close to that level. The number said that, I didn't, okay? So, here was the blueprint. I'm gonna just say what it is. It's 5 steps. These are the 5 steps I did. I did it. Look at me. I'm telling you, I did this. I created this. I'm not selling you this. I'm telling you exactly what I did. I'm looking you right in your eye and telling you. All right? This is from the heart. And a lot of times they say you do something from the heart, everything else will follow. And this is what I'm doing. This is a passion of mine. You don't understand, but I'll digress, so let me get right to it. 5 steps. The first step is when you're married. I will get to unwed in a second, okay? We'll get to unwed fathers in a second. But first, let's take care of the married folks. But unwed fathers, you're going to need to listen to this as well, because it's kind of going to apply to your situation as well, certain steps. Number 1, the first of 5 steps. Do not leave the home. Okay? Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, yeah, we already know that. We already know that. Well, not everybody knows it, okay? And you got to think, I knew that in 2006. I was 29 years old. Okay? I didn't leave the home. All right? Now, we got married young. I'm not going to get too much into that, but we just kind of outgrew each other. We never did meet back on the right paths, and things were irreconcilable. You can figure that out, No shade on her because it went both ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's neither here or there. But when she attempted to leave the house, and when you're young, you go into these little quarrels, you get into these little arguments, and sometimes they get physical, right? I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't leave the home, all right? Don't leave the home. Because when you leave the home, it's a strike against you. All right, husband? That's a father. It's a strike against you. It'll be seen and be deemed as abandonment, that you're abandoning, not her, but the children, because you're leaving out of the marital home. Do not leave the home. See, we've been programmed. I don't say society. I would like to say the establishment. You'll hear me say that a lot. The establishment has programmed men to be like, oh, listen, Steve, we need time apart. Maybe you could go stay. We need to don't leave the marital home, okay? Because when you do, you're leaving all of the responsibilities to her. And trust me, that's the first thing we do mess up. Do not leave the marital home. That's number one. Number two is do not allow the wife to take the children from the home. That's right. Don't allow the wife to take the children. I had to say, I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving. No. Okay? No, don't allow that. You're married, right? So you contractually have equal rights to that child as the mother. Newsflash, that's the case. You have equal rights. Do not allow her to take the kids. Again, step out of the program. You're going to have to walk outside of the program in order to navigate correctly. You can't do what everybody else has been doing. Husbands that are fathers, you cannot do that. Okay? Or we soon be fathers. Do not do that. Do not allow her to take the kids. You say no. If you want to leave, you leave. You want to go to your mom's, you want to go to your friends, you leave. The kids are staying here. Okay? Now, she might call you bluff and say, you can't take care of the kids. You barely got to do this and that. You make sure you do it. You sacrifice doing it. I don't care what. Trust me. Let me tell you something. That exactly happened to me, all right? Where my wife attempted to take the children out after things got a little physical, and I decided, hey, I'm going to call the police. That's another thing. That's like a little sub. Don't be afraid to call the police, but we'll get to that later. And what happened is when the police got there and she wanted to take the kids, I told the kids no. We had two sons at the time. Again, they were 9 and 3. I held them back. Of course they were crying. Of course. They're 9 and 3. Mom and dad's going through it. They feel the friction in the house, right? Ain't gonna kill them. No. So I didn't allow them to go. It was 2 cops in there, and they asked me, hey, sir, would you allow your mom to take the kids? And I said, oh, no, absolutely not. This is where the kids live. This is their home. And she tried to say, oh, she was crying. We as men, we have soft spots for that. I did. But me carrying my soft spot was way suppressed because I cared about securing my kids. Okay? Now, what the main officer said was, excuse me, miss, he said that he's not going to allow the kids to go. Unfortunately, if you want the kids to stay, if you want to leave, we can't make him take the kids. You guys are going to take care of that in family law court. She started crying, oh, boo, boo. And at that point in time, I can tell you, I'm just be honest, me and my ex-wife are in we co-parented well. She took care of the kids when she needed to take care. We communicated. She always had my back when I had to do things, to be tough and be disciplined. Listen, so this is not about me knocking her. This is about speaking the truth and being to try to educate you guys. She started crying. And I looked at her, and in my head, I thought, yeah, you thought you had it all freaking figured out. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it was more explicit words that were going through my head. And she left. So not only did I didn't leave the home, Number two, I didn't allow the wife to leave the home, to take the kids from the residential home. That's huge. I didn't leave, and I didn't allow the wife to take them out of the residential home. The authorities is not going to force me to do that. Okay? Now, maybe if she called on me or the neighbors called on me and maybe the authorities try to, take me out of there in cuffs, but don't give her that avenue. All right? Number three is initiate the divorce. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do mentally in my life, was to divorce the person I asked to marry me when I think I was like 18 or something. I was in the military, came home for a while before we moved out and married and got moved out of the base housing and everything. But that was one of the hardest things I had to do. But guess what? It was the best thing I ever did. The best thing I ever did. Hardest but best. All right? I have 2 sons from that marriage. Again, they're 26 and 21. They're doing great. Aspiring careers, of sound mind. And guess what? I'm teaching them how to make sure. If that's the most important thing I ever teach them, is make sure when they're in a marriage or a relationship or anything like that and they have a child, to make sure they secure that child. All right? So it's not a doubt in my mind that they'll be able to move on with that legacy. Initiate the divorce. Now, because so many times the woman initiates the divorce, and it's perceived in the court's mind that, hey, or in the eyes of the law, that this person is trying to leave a bad situation, or what they call it, a toxic environment. Hey, why don't we initiate? Why do they have to initiate nearly 80% of the time? Absolutely not. And, hey, they initiate nearly 80% of the time, and about 80% of the single mothers have custody of their kids. Does it seem like it's a direct correlation between those two numbers? Initiate the divorce. All right? Don't let her hit you with the divorce. No, don't let her serve you. Put your name on top versus hers. All right? So I believe when you do that, and if you come out on top, and what you will, if you follow these 5 steps, men are more likely, way more likely, to make sure we don't use the children as a weapon against the other parent. I know I did. Upon our divorce, I said, listen, whenever you want the kids, you can have them. You don't just have to have them every other weekend, Friday at 6 through Sunday at 6. Just know that. She knew that, and I told her several times, handfuls of times. So she always knew that. Now, do that mean it'll be happen the other way around? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I just don't know what I can control. So initiate the divorce. Don't be afraid. Listen, one of the hardest things I've had to do is try to hold on to a moving train. You might, listen, if a person don't want to be with you anymore and they see a vision somewhere else, they're gone. I don't care how much money you give them, how good you hit that thing, what you do, for what type of cruise or trip you take them on. If they're headed somewhere else, they're gone. They're gone. Initiate the divorce. That's number 3. Number 4 is execute a restraining order. Yeah. Let me tell you, this is the golden ticket that women use. Mothers use. They use it all the time. And a lot of times they can just make an accusation. They don't have to prove it. They don't have to have aggressive text messages or anything or witnesses. So you have to make sure. Listen, when we get in our little things, we understand. We see it on TV. We see it on social media. They promote women hitting on men. It's okay. I don't think anybody needs to be hitting on anybody, okay, in a relationship. No. But we are programmed to accept this behavior. But let them hit us, and let us hold them back or shove them out of the way or restrain them in some type of way. Then they'll cry victim and they'll get a restraining order. Then you're forced to leave the house. Now you're climbing up a hill. A restrainer. Listen, would I advise anything that I haven't done? Absolutely not. Did I execute a restraining order? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. 2006, before our divorce was finalized in like September or August or something like that. It was February, March, somewhere around about March, something happened. She was upset about something, came to my buddy's house, all ticked off at me, causing a disturbance. I threatened to call the police, and she ended up hitting me on the top of the head. Boom! Did it hurt? No. But it was the thought. It was the she was upset about something, and I didn't like the fact she put her hands on me. Now, like I said, even though it didn't hurt me, I understood. Look, I could use this as leverage, and I did that. I called the police for one. Called the police. Hey, check this out, guys. You can't make this stuff up. Call the police. So I'm thinking, I'm finna send her ass to jail. I'm finna send her to jail. We're heading through this divorce. Look, my kingdom's falling. When I say my kingdom, because we had a nice house and everything. We had a situation where we didn't have coming up because we both came up without anything. But and I'm just like, screw it. I'm sending you to jail. You had this is the last time you put your hands on me. And it was coming up. I saw the cop car coming up. I'm sitting in the jail. I'm pressing charges. Get out of the car. It's 2 female cops, and I knew right then. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. You gotta be freaking kidding me, right? Long story short, the one lead cop, female cop, she was like, I'm not taking one without taking both of you. Even though I had a witness, 2 witnesses actually, my friend and my little brother. And she put, I was like, listen, no. She put that steel on one wrist and pulled me around to another. Didn't do nothing to her. You know what I'm saying? She just standing there waiting. So it basically she didn't make me, but I wasn't fitting. My ego ain't too big. I ain't finna serve time in jail just for my ego. So I said, okay, I ain't gonna press charges. And then she left. The police left. And she left. I filed a report on her ass. I did. I filed a report on her. But of course, nothing happened. But I got to do something. And but my point is, I filed a restraining order against my at the time wife who was going through a divorce. Did the restraining order go through? Yes, it did. I have something that I'm going to share in a video that I just recently found out because we talk periodically. It's been 2006. I've had a third son. She's had a third son, and she got remarried. I ain't get remarried again. Screw all that. But and we're fine. Okay. So, but you got to use the same tactics they use. Don't bring a freaking butter knife to a machete fight. What are you gonna do? Spread butter with peanut butter with that? No. While she's slashing you up like she's freaking Freddy Krueger? No. Listen, use the same Listen, I'm not telling you to lie, but if something's the case, use it. Don't let your ego get in the way. If you put your ego before the time when you're securing the time with your children, you will fail. You will fail. You will fall on your face and you will freaking fail. I'm telling you, do these things. Number 1 already was do not leave the home. Number 2, do not allow the wife to leave the home with the children. 3 is initiate the divorce. And 4 is execute a restraining order. Number 5 should be simple. I think it's one of the easier ones. Number 5 is keep your hands and your face clean. Keep your hands in your face. What does that mean? That means don't give her any ammunition. Don't go out there getting DUIs. Don't go out there getting reckless speeding tickets, assault charges, nonsense, losing your job. Anything negative, rough text or anything, nothing that you can use. Stay squeaky clean. You didn't put in all this work to give it up. Because here's the thing. Don't let your feelings, I wrote this down. Don't let your feelings and your heartbreak get the best of you. We're all human. Trust me, I went through some emotions. But I'm like, damn it, I'm going to secure these damn boys. I'm going to secure them. And I secured them. And I have a hell of a product that I put out there in this world. A hell of a product. And I want you to do the same thing. So let's go over them again. Do not leave the home, husband. Again, fathers, unwed fathers, you need to apply. Some of these is going to apply to you as well. Do not leave the home. Do not allow the wife to take the children from the home. Initiate the divorce. Execute a restraining order and keep your hands and face clean. All right? That is the Flawless Fatherhood blueprint that I created for husbands. You do all 5 of those, your chances of securing your children at least 50%, if not more, go up into the 90s. I personally feel. Now I understand I live in Florida, but I can live in Texas, and I had the same situation. I at least have my kid 50-50. I understand certain are different, but I'd have put the courts in a hard position to say no. I'd have gave that, if I could have been in a situation with any woman, it'd have made such of a steep mountain that she had to climb, which is what a lot of fathers that have been displaced and alienated from their kid, they look at this mountain and they think about the money, the energy, and all this trauma that they're dealing with. They have to climb this mountain just the hopes of getting, and they just rather not climb the mountain. I'm in the business of attacking this fatherless epidemic, this single mom epidemic at its root. I'm not in the business of asking the bully, hey bully, could you? No. I'm in the business of finding the bully's weakness. Finding the bully's weakness and working around it. Everything's got a weakness. Everything's got a loophole. And I am exploiting it from both ends. Now let's get to the unwed fathers. All right, we're back. Now, here's my belief. I believe that there are more children born out of wedlock than there is from marriages. That's just me, okay? I don't care what the numbers are. Sometimes I just got to go by what we see because, a lot of these statistics, here's the thing. I don't trust nothing. See, the reason why I don't trust it, I get called a conspiracy theorist a lot. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, whatever, right? But people don't want to call me a conspiracy theorist when they say, oh, when I'm raising my kids. When I won for my kids, it's like I won. When I wanted my kids, for my children in a divorce, and I won for my children in an unwed situation. Nobody's calling me a conspiracy theorist then. All of a sudden, I'm freaking miraculous or something. I'm just a great father. No, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, just that simple. And a lot of fathers have been programmed through, like I say, through TV, through movies and everything else to just lay down for the wife or the girlfriend. All right? Get out of that. Whenever we lose our masculinity, and trust me, this is not alpha male. No, it's not. But whenever we lose our masculinity and we lose what we were when the woman met us, we lose everything else that comes with it. All right? So now, for unwed fathers, here's the deal. Okay? Again, keep an open mind here, right? Open mind. This is what I've learned, what I've seen. Like I said, when I spoke about, restraining orders, I venture to think that probably 75% of men, fathers that are unwed, or maybe even wed, at least 70% of them, at least, they've had a restraining order put on them. May it be temporary or not. And that's just a tactic that they use. So you have to take it away from them. Just keep that in mind. So here for the unwed fathers, the Flawless Fatherhood Blueprint for Unwed Fathers. Okay. Now here's the thing. Now some people that are watching this already, you might already had your kids and you're not gonna have any more. You're going through the situation. You're trying to fight for time, right? So if that's you, and if you're an unwed father, and you've already crossed that threshold, and you're on child support, can't see your kids, or you're at the mother's, beck and call, begging for time and stuff like that, it just disgusts me, But you don't have equal time share. This is what you need. You have one of two options. You can fight for your equal time share with your children. You can fight for it. Will some finances come into play? Sure. To be honest with you, you don't necessarily need an attorney. Okay? Now, I'm going to make another video, but I just got to get this information out now. You know what I'm saying? You can have an attorney. You can get one. Or you don't have to have one. Build yourself a case, and that's something that I do on this platform. I'll be able to help fathers build cases, especially unwed, because I was an unwed father. And I killed the best interest of child factors to where the judge and the courts couldn't say, this is a hell of a freaking dad. You guys better go in there and freaking solve it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And the mom knew she didn't have a case enough to take the children from me because, hell, again, I initiated the court action even on my youngest sons from unwed situation. See, it's about being proactive. Being proactive. You sit back and be reactive, man, they're just going to load them up on you. You're a sitting duck. Sitting duck. You ever played Duck Hunt back in Nintendo? You know, you'll have that dog laughing at you. Don't be a sitting duck. So fight for your children is the first option you have. Or two, don't fight. Don't fight and just take what the system and life has given you. I know some of you probably just gave up. Don't give up. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of you fathers have just walked away. Okay, some fathers have. Don't you do it if you listen to this. Don't do it. What you at least want to do, I'm gonna sidebar real quick. What you at least want to do is take the necessary steps. Try to take it to court and ask for an equal timeshare. You know. Create a case first. You just don't go in there and be like, hey, judge, could you give me equal time? So they're going to laugh you up out of there, right? Because trust me, I know how to finesse the game, baby. So stick with me and subscribe and you'll learn it, right? Again, if you get any value out of this, press like, subscribe, make sure you share it too, right? So get in there and create yourself, make a case for yourself. Build a case. Make it hard for them to say no. So you can fight. So you can fight or you cannot fight. But what I advocate for you to do is, at least if you fight, you go in there and the judge say, nah, or I'll give you 2 more days a month, whatever, right? You could, or say no, right? At least you could say, when your child's older and they can understand and they're not blind to the lies anymore, you can say, look here, son, look here, daughter. Here's the file right here. This is when I took your mom to court. Here's what I requested. And they told me no. Because a lot of mothers tell it. They have the children. They're going to be like, oh, your daddy ain't S. He up there. He's with his other family and all this and that. But at least if you can have this, you can't deny what's on black and white and what's signed and what she fought against. Trust me. Fighting, even if you lose, and being able to show, hey, look, I took it and I gave it a shot. But I did try. I went in front of the beast. I went in that courtroom, you know. So make sure you have that. That means a lot to the child, even as an adult child. So you can fight or not fight. I would push for you to fight. Now, let me throw this out here real quick. Unwed fathers, get out of the programming. Okay? I know how it feels. I was younger before. I signed a birth certificate when I was married. Signed a birth certificate. Now, see, it don't matter. But let me tell you something. We've been programmed to think the marriage certificate gives you rights. The marriage certificate does not give an unwed father. It don't give listen, it don't do nothing good for the father. That's right. The birth certificate is completely voluntary. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen anybody go to jail or fined because they didn't sign the birth certificate? Ask yourself. So if you haven't seen anybody go to jail or fined, that means that's a voluntary action. Now, what you do when you sign that birth certificate, now you got to get this warm, cozy feeling. That's my child. Oh my God, this is it. That does not give you rights. Google it and you'll see that, hey, signing the birth certificate does not give a father legal rights to the child. I'm going to tell you what it does. It puts you on the hook financially for the child if you're unwed. Now, if you're married and you have a child, you're already on the hook financially for the child if something happened, right? Because you're bound by marriage and that marriage certificate. But if you're unwed and you sign that birth certificate, you don't have legal rights. You think you do because we've been programmed to think that, but you don't. Why you think so many of these fathers, countless fathers out here that don't have their children and begging to be in their kid's life, they sign a birth certificate. Guess what? They get to see your kids 4 days a month. Well, maybe, unsupervised per se. So it doesn't give you legal rights. It just gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling because that's how they indoctrinated us with that. Newsflash, I didn't even sign the birth certificate for my youngest son that was born in 2000. I said he was born in 2012 before, 2013. I said 2012. 2013 he was born. I didn't even sign a birth certificate. Not one time. But I got him 50% of the time. I didn't sign a birth certificate. Birth certificate ain't worth jack. I don't know what the heck I just tore up. But that might have been a birth certificate. Doesn't mean nothing. It puts you on the hook as an unwed father for finance. Now here it is. Let's say if you never signed a birth certificate, right? You don't sign a birth certificate. That don't mean you're not the father. If you're the father, you're the father. But let's say if y'all break up, right? Now she just can't take that birth certificate and they got you on file and you sign, because it just puts you on the hook financially. And the system got you for signing a birth certificate. Now y'all break up. Now she can just go straight to the Department of Revenue or whatever they do, and they can just start pulling money out your check. But if you don't sign a birth certificate, you break up, guess what? Now she has to open a case against you the normal way. And either you have to go in and admit to do some type of paternity action and agree that you're the father, she agree you're the father, and then you move forward, you can go to court that way. Then you move forward that way. But you just can't pull money out of your account. Stop signing that stupid birth certificate. I'm done having kids. Trust me, I'm not having more kids 47, but if I did, I wouldn't sign a birth certificate. Even if I was in a productive relationship, I wouldn't sign a birth certificate. So, okay, that's enough about that. All right, I want to show you guys something because I have to show it to you. I have to show it to you. When I show it to you, hopefully, on a little white chalkboard, I hope you'll be able to understand it better. Let's get to it. Nah, scratch that. Let's not play on the whiteboard right now. But let's just talk about it. What I'm about to tell you right now, guys, is something your attorney won't tell you. They're not going to tell you this. All right? You want to know why they won't tell you this? Because it'll be cutting their own throat. It'll be hitting their own selves in the pockets. All right? What do I mean by that? I'm going to section all this down into shorter parts later. So you'll be able to snack it better, right? But let's go and think about it this way. Let's say a mother and father, unwed mother and father, they have to win. What's the longest race in the Olympics? Like 400 or something, right? Well, no, that's not the longest race. One time around the track, 400 meters, right? So let's say if the mother and father, mother's in lane 1, father's in a different lane, and boom, get in the race. Now, the mother has it clear sailing all the way around. All the way around. Clear sailing, nothing's in her lane at all. But in the father's lane, you have various obstacles, right? Because that's what we have to deal with as unwed fathers. Obstacles. As fathers in general. But we're talking about unwed fathers here. We have to deal with a corrupt family law system. We have to deal with the courts identifying that the mother is the custodial parent. Now, man, we're doing a race. We're racing around 400 meters. Whoever wins the race. Just trying to, use it the way maybe you can see it. To win timeshare, okay? What other obstacles are in the way? Family law system. She's a custodial parent. Another obstacle that may be on the back stretch of the child actually lives with the mother. That's something that we got to stop. Fathers, we got to stop that. If you're together and you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you have a child, and you live in a place, live in a house, you're renting, or whatever the case may be, you need to be living in that house. Either needs to be in your name or in both your names. Okay, because if it's just in your name, it's just in her name, you know how that goes. She gets upset, she'll kick you out. We don't usually do those type of things as fathers. As men. What other obstacles you have to deal with? Restraining order. A woman playing victim. You got to deal with those type of things. Child support issues. But my point is saying this: we have so many obstacles and barriers in our way. Who's likely to win that race? The mom. The mom is likely to win that race because she has free sailing all the way through. Easy breezy. She can catch her second win on the back stretch and everything, while we're getting hung up at every turn. But what we need to start doing is taking those obstacles away. Avoiding the corrupt family law system. Avoiding the fact that the courts only see her as the custodial parent. Avoiding the fact that the child lives with her, because the child needs to live with both of you, and the home need to be in both of your names. Avoid restraining orders by, hey, things get physical, you initiating the phone call and you calling the police. Look, man, listen, guys. You got to be like, oh, this is nonsense. But I can put proof up on the screen showing you that I had a restraining order on my ex-wife when we was going through the divorce. And I'm telling you, I can show you the paperwork that when I was the primary residential parent and the children stayed with me, and she had visitation. Listen, and she was not a drug addict. She was not an alcoholic. Hey, she works at the same career. She does the same career I do. She's moved on. She's got married. Hell, she's sold her house. She's bought a bigger house and everything. Oh, so she's good to go. But my desire to get my end goal was higher than her desire, as it pertains to our kids. But, here's the thing is, she knew she had an awesome father raising the kids as well, even though me and her didn't work out. So how are we going to do this? If we have all these obstacles in our way, we have to either use the obstacles that they use against us, or we have to eliminate those obstacles to help our chances, to benefit us for being able to win that race or come out equally as the mom. Here's the thing. I said all that just to show that, we have a lot of things, obstacles in our way. But here's the main thing, guys. This is the creme de la creme. I don't know if I said that right. Here is the thing. This is what unwed fathers need to do. Again, attorneys won't tell you this. But I'm going to beat the door down about this. Because no one teaches us this. And I've done my research, okay? I've done my research on this. It seems so simple. Sometimes the answer can be like right there. But you're looking at everything else. You got this big screen, but the answer's right there. Okay? As it pertains to unwed fathers, I'm not telling you to go out there and get married, because I just put a third party in your business with the government. All right? You do that, that's on you. I've been there. I ain't playing with that no more. But for those that feel like, oh, I gotta go get married because God said, go right ahead. But as far as unwed fathers, this is what you need to do. When you're having a child, you're expecting a child, all right? You're expecting a child. What needs to happen is when I like to call it the sweet spot, the honeymoon, if you will. Once that child is born, because you can't do it before the child is born. Once that child is born, and let's say, don't sign a birth certificate. Screw the birth certificate, okay? I ain't in business to have nobody sign a birth certificate. No. Again, I'm not an attorney, but it serves you no benefit at all. Zero. Again, like I said before, you never see anybody go to jail or get fined for not signing the birth certificate. But my point is, I'm saying this. When you're in a relationship and you have a child, even if you've had children already and you're having another one, whatever the case may be, what you need to do, what I would do if I had another kid, which I won't, is in that sweet spot within the first 30 days. And when I say first 30 days, I mean 30 days. I don't mean 45. I don't mean 60. You're trying to be cute and be lazy. Be proactive. When the mother is at her peak of wanting of high emotions and wanting the best for the child. Because if you're not married, you're not the custodial parent like she is. Unless you and her, during that crucial time within the first 30 days, where everything is sweet, while you're taking pictures, while you're bringing her chocolate and ice cream and helping her with the baby. What you need to do is go down to the local local courthouse. Now, there's ways you can present this, and we'll talk about this later. But what needs to happen is during this sweet spot when she wants the best for the child, you and her need to go to the courthouse and you need to establish paternity with the mom regarding the child. Establish paternity. That basically means on legal paperwork, on court documents, to where basically, it's not saying paternity test. I thought that for the longest time when I was younger. It's basically saying, hey, I'm the father of such and such. Mother saying, yes, you're the father of such and such, and it gets stamped and sealed. It's establishing paternity that you're the father. Now, once you establish paternity, that's step number one. Number two is you have to create a custody order. Even if you guys live together, there must be a custody order / custody agreement between you two because you're not married. All right? Now, in that custody order, I can show you the one with Florida, but probably different in every state, the forms, but it's pretty much the same. Basically, you're going to go through it. Because you're not married, you're going to have a time-sharing agreement. Now, you can set your own, you guys can come to your own agreements in there. Basically, you got to come to an agreement saying, hey, the child's going to live with us until, use whatever verbiage you want. You know, if you got different homes, you can say the child's going to be here, or we're going to split the child equally, or whatever, X amount of days per year, one something or whatever. One got to, it's 365 days in a year, so it's not even, so one has to have it more than the other, but it doesn't matter. Split the child up and put all that information in there. So until the child's 18. Listen, whatever you guys agree to is what you agree to. You can put in there that, hey, both of us will take care of the child equally. Also take care of the child equally as far as financially, no child support is needed. You guys can come to that agreement within that custody agreement. Now you have to go to court. Now you're going to have to probably go in front of somebody and go in front of a judge, because what will happen is to finalize that agreement. You got to do a financial affidavit and everything else. You have to do these things to get rights when you're unwed. You have to establish paternity, and you have to create a custody agreement. Let me tell you something, guys. You don't need an attorney for that. You don't need an attorney for that. You just need two willing participants. That's why I say do it in the sweet spot the first 30 days. I'd advise you do it in the first 2 weeks, to be totally honest with you. And again, we'll talk about how you can present that to her later so she don't feel like you're trying to finesse her or trying to do something. But really, you're trying to secure the future for the child. And let's be honest, once you get that done and finalized, it don't take long. What, a month, maybe a month and a half or something? Now, you're on the same wavelength as her. Once you establish paternity and get a custody agreement with mom, now she's the custodial parent and you're the custodial parent. So both of you have equal rights to the child. You follow me? Okay? Now, once you do that, once you have equal rights, now basically you can follow the same guidelines that I created in the Flawless Fatherhood blueprint for fathers, but it'll be like the unwed fathers. But it'll be the same thing. Okay, let's say if you're living in the same home, boyfriend and girlfriend with a child, and you're living at home. Don't leave the home. Don't leave the home, right? If it's your home together, don't leave the home. Because even though you're not married, you have equal rights to the child. You probably have equal rights to the house. That's why you got to make sure the home is in your name and her name, or your name alone, so she can't kick you out. For two, don't allow the girlfriend to take the child away from the home. Because once you have equal rights, you're on the same playing field. If you look at so much of this stuff, it'll say, the father, this and that, goes non-custodial parent, non-custodial parent, non-custodial parent this, non-custodial parent that. The state, or they never told us not to become become the custodial parent. They just didn't teach us how to do it and when to do it. They didn't tell us we couldn't do it. They just didn't tell us how. They didn't teach us that. So become the custodial parent and get on the same level with the mom. So if let's be honest, when. But if the relationship ends, the unwed relationship ends, now the mother just can't take the kids as if, oh, I own the kids. I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving. You'd be like, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, I am. This is my baby. Don't you remember that custody agreement we made 3 years ago? And she said, oh. You're basically de-weaponizing her. Okay? You took that, what's that, that empowerment, that, this is my child, I get to do what I want to do. Because no, you guys had a custody agreement. You established your paternity, that's first, and you got a custody agreement. So now, if y'all break up, she either has one or two options. She could go run to the courts and say, hey, I want to renege on the agreement we made before. It's possible. They would do it all the time with divorces, right? But this is a different situation. See, the system's not ready for this because men aren't handling their business on the front end like they're supposed to. Now, did I do that? No, I didn't do it like that. But I secured myself. We can get into that. I made sure that I was locked in with my child. He was staying in my home just as equally as much as he was staying in his mom's home. So if they say, oh, we have to do keep things what the child is used to, I'm like, well, he was used to staying in my home. And again, when I say he's staying at my home, that don't mean just, hey, he's been at my house 4 days a week. No, that means 3 or 4 days a week. That means no, he's staying the night. The courts calculate overnights. They don't calculate days. So you can see your child sick for 6 hours for 6 days a week, but the child never stays at your house. That's 0 overnights. All right? That's just a little tidbit too. So create a culture. This is what I'm talking about. I get a little loose, deal with it, and it's kind of late. I'm in the business of creating a culture for unwed fathers to establish paternity and get a custody agreement within the first 30 days of having a child. So if the relationship dissolves, you're on the same playing field. Remember, you got to keep your hands and face clean. You got to call them. If she put her hands on you and all this type of stuff, you got to call, you got to get a restraining order. You have to do everything to secure the time with your children. Do you think I have to ask? No, that's not true. Do you think I have to beg my ex to see my son? No. If I want him on a day when she has him, I'd be like, hey, you busy with, our son today, such, And she's never denied me. When she wanted him on my day, my particular week, when it wasn't her week, she called and I never denied her. You want to know why? Because she doesn't feel like she has authority over him. Because we have them equal. When you eliminate that, you eliminate the power or the perceived power that a parent may have over a situation. So that's the whole thing. I'll focus on this later. Again, it's about for unwed fathers. For fathers that are married, you just got to follow the blueprint. Do not leave from the home. Do not allow the wife to take the children from the home. Initiate a divorce. Execute a restraining order if necessary. And let's be honest, majority of the time they're necessary. Okay? Because these women gonna put their hands on you. That's all we see on TV. I watched 2 movies. I'm probably gonna review coming up. And guess what? In both those last movies I saw at the theater, both of them had. There was a situation where the woman told the husband to leave and he left. It's indoctrination. It's indoctrination. Got to break free of it. And trust me, the system knows what it's doing. So if you want the results, it'll behoove of you to listen to someone that has the results. You'd be surprised. A lot of these attorneys, they must have kids. Because hell, they know. You got kids, you got to go through this and that. I had an attorney for my divorce. I had a attorney for, she had no kids. A lot of these attorneys don't be having no kids because they know what's up. They know what come with it. So I hope that made some sense. I know I rattle a lot, but trust me, it's gonna be some times when we're gonna be doing lives and stuff like that. Once I get my production up and everything else, to where you can come onto the platform and ask questions, and we can just do our thing, and we can just go and talk about certain topics. So look, guys, I'm passionate about this. This platform. Hopefully you got something out of it. Sorry for being so long-winded, but it's just a lot of wisdom. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. It's a lot of experiences I had, and I want to be able to share them with you, for you can have the same results I did. For your sons, your uncles, your cousins can have the same results I did. Because when you have the father in the child's life is equally or more than the mother, you have a better product of child coming into adulthood that are less in the streets, less drug addicts, less runaways, less behavioral issues, less in prisons. Does the system want that? Does the establishment want that? No. They get money when people go to prison, right? I don't want that. All right. So, hey guys, I hope you appreciated the video. I got more content coming soon. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging in there. Flawless Fatherhood, where you hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'll take you to the promised land. How that saying go? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. And that applies here. All right. So look, if you're in the business of helping me build the platform, and if you want to support, you check out the About section on my channel or in the description. I'd appreciate it. If not, keep coming back to the content and consuming it, and for yourself and for you can help others. Bring others to the platform. Have them subscribe. Make sure the bell notification is on so you can get the videos as soon as they come out. Flawless Fatherhood. Thank you guys, and see you on the next video. Peace.